Well, I was broke when I was born. That's the reason I'm howling. We're talking about the life of a human being, how they live. A lot of people's wonder, what is the blues? I hear a lot of people saying the blues, but I'm gonna tell you what the blues is. When you ain't got no money, you got the blues. When you ain't got no money to pay your house rent, you still got the blues. A lot of people holler about, I don't like no blues, but when you ain't got no money and can't pay your house rent and can't buy you no food, you damn sure got the blues. If you ain't got no money, you got the blues, because you're thinking evil. That's right. Anytime you thinking evil, you thinking about the blues.
Well, when we first started playing together, we started playing because we wanted to play rhythm and blues, and Howlin Wolf was one of our greatest idols, and it's a great pleasure to find he's been booked on this show tonight. It really is a pleasure.
Thanks to Howlin Jack.
How many more years till I have to let you dog me around? How many more years till I have to let you dog me around? I would rather be dead, sleeping sick face and the ground. See, the blues come from way back.
Well, it originated from slavery. You know, that's my opinion. It came from slavery. When a guy, the slave, wanted to say things that they really couldn't say that would get them in trouble, or they want to get back at their boss, they would sing.
When I was doing right, you couldn't believe a word I say. When I'm doing right, you couldn't believe a word I say. You think I'm crazy, but I can't let you have your way. If you're getting everything you possess and don't need nothing, you don't have no right to worry about nothing. But when you ain't got nothing, then you got to worry about something. And that's why the blues come in. And Lord, first thing is say, you know, I don't have this, and I don't have that. And you look over there at these other people, and they got this and got that. Then in your heart, you feel like that you ain't nobody. You got the blues.
Well, frankly, the blues ain't nothing but a feeling. You know, when you got a good girl on your mind, something like that. But music has a way of relaxing your mind against this feeling.
Mary and Martha, they danced to see. Say, go tell my disciples to meet me in Galilee. Now who's that riding? John the Revelator, tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator, tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator wrote the book of the 7 seas. Who's that riding? John the Revelator, tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator, well, who's that riding? John the Revelator wrote the book of the 7 seas.
And sitting here playing the blues, and I played church songs too. But you can't take God and the devil along together, because them two fellas, they don't communicate together so well. They don't get along so well together.
Oh, yeah, just my bro.
My dad was, you know, he died when I was 6 years old.
Wolf looked at Hubert like his son.
He taught me a lot, man. He taught me a lot about music, you know, guitar and everything.
Oh, our big brother.
That's our brother. He's our big brother.
Yeah. You know, he and Hubert always had their fights, but they loved each other to the bitter end.
It was
Hubert had his back, and he had Hubert's
right,
back.
it was
That's
healthy.
for sure, you know.
Well, the words, I knew what he was going to do before he did it, you know. That's just like father and son, man.
Wolf was like the biggest guy I'd ever met. He would come in and shake my hand, and I would always, it was like putting my hand in a baseball glove. It was that big.
If you say something to him, you better be right. You better say it to him right. You know what I'm talking about? Do he walk off and, hey man, nice knowing you.
He was like a man that he just didn't take any mess.
It was like flipping a coin with Wolf. He had this sweet, quiet side to him, and he had this tough, big, intense side to him that could be triggered.
He was a no-nonsense type of guy, you know. A lot of people, the musician thought he was hard-hearted, but he wasn't. He just ran the band like a band should be run.
On stage, he was a wild man. He was like a feral beast stalking the stage. He was the wolf.
He did his acts and people just went, wow.
He could rouse an audience.
He'd walk that bar, he'd crawl it, and jump up and down on it, and then he'd go out the door, howling out there on the street, blowing his harmonica, because he had a long cord on his microphone.
He had, you know, the Coke bottle in his pants and crawling around.
But he was a hell of an entertainer. Then he'd take his handkerchief and stick it down in the back of his belt like a tail and start howling up and down the bar.
But off stage, he was a very hard-working, kind of a straight-laced guy.
He did transform from what I remember, you know, from dad to the stage person, but I think that was just a part of his spirit. I think there was some kind of gift there that just, it had manifested itself into, you know, when he got there, he knew that was his job, and he knew people expected a lot. They paid their money, they wanted to go out and have a good time.
Another take?
New Revlon Double Twist Mascara, a revolutionary 2-in-1 applicator that combines a thickening brush with separating combs for massive volume and remarkable definition. New Revlon Double Twist Mascara.
It's worth a double take.
Are you one of those people who think you just can't learn a new language?
Now listen, peoples. I'm gonna show you how to play the blues. Now you just sit here and watch me. You know when you got a lazy woman and you have to come in and tell us that, baby, why don't you sweep up the house? jump up and tell you, sweep it up yourself. I'm gonna get up in the morning. I believe I dust my broom. I'm gonna get up in the morning. I believe I dust my broom. I'm quit the gal I'm loving while my friends can have my room.
He would just love going back down south for hunting and fishing. He was a country guy, deep down.
That's when you could see him relax. You know, the outdoor, you know, he appreciated that kind of thing. And he was just a laid back. Never was, I can't remember anything elaborate. It was always laid back, always laid back. I think he appreciated everything more than people knew because of, you know, the meager beginnings he had. And again, I don't think he took anything for granted. As we said, he enjoyed life, but never extravagantly. Say he drove a Pontiac station wagon all his life. There were never any Cadillacs and Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? He was just a down-to-earth man, you know.
Me, I just like, I'm on blues. Blues, I read and I play them, I come up hard. I suffered a lot of places. Person they never had no hard time, why they don't know what the blues mean anyway. Well, I was born in Albany, Mississippi. That's between Memphis and Jackson on Highway 45 going south.
He got the name Wolf from his grandfather, John Jones, who lived down in Sugar Lock, Mississippi, down in Noxubee County.
He gave me that name. He used to sit down and tell me tall stories about what the wolf would do, you know, because I was a bad boy, you know. So he told me the story about how the wolf done the Little Red Riding Hood. And then they finally killed the wolf and drove him up to the house, you know, and showed me the wolf. And I told him it was a dog. He said, no, that's a wolf. I said, well, what do a wolf do? Say, howl. He said, you know, and so I got afraid of this wolf, you know. And every time I'd kill some of my mother's chickens, she said, So that scared me, you know, and it made me mad, and it's when they called me Wolf.
I was born in a little town called Rolling Fork, and I was raised up in Clarksdale. I was raised up out on a farm, on a plantation. Everybody had to work. Right on that little kids, 10 years old out there working, you know, on the farm. You know. I lived the country life for a long time. A little rough, but came through it.
Black kids in Mississippi at the time had it hard. You know, all black people in Mississippi did. But I think Wolf had it harder than most. When he was a little kid, his parents split up, and he was raised for a while by his mother, Gertrude. His mother was a religious person, kind of a religious fanatic. At some point, Gertrude got angry with him, supposedly about the fact that he wouldn't work on the farm, and she forced him out of her house.
He told me, crying, he said, Hubert, she put me out on account I wouldn't work for 15 cents a day. And told him don't come back. Said, I don't want you back here.
He ended up moving in with his uncle, Will Young, who lived in White Station. And Will Young mistreated him really badly. And I think Wolf was really scarred by that. He eventually ran away from his uncle, actually, when he was about 13, and he rejoined his father in the Delta.
He didn't have no shoes, and he walked 75 miles, which it is from now to West Point.
He had a father who loved him. His father was, you know, from everything we've heard, was a wonderful guy. And he had, his father had a large family, and Wolf, you know, he had finally found a home.
Where there's art, there's a better child.
Flying 4 mules on the plantation. Man come through there picking a guitar called Charlie Patton, and I liked his sound.
Will you kill a man? Yes, I will. Dead by the I'm a fool about my. Don't take me long to get my.
So I always did want to play a guitar. So I got him to show me a few chords, you know. Every night that I'd get off for work, I'd go over to his house and he'd learn me how to pick the guitar. So I got good with it. So I went out for myself, and the people went for what I was putting down, and I decided that I would play. So I asked my father to get me a guitar. 1928, the 15th day of January. He went and got me a guitar, and I started picking the guitar first. I'm a wolf that howl. They found me howling at your door. I'm the wolf that howl, baby. They found me howling at your door. And if you give me what I want, I won't lay around and howl no more. Then I had a woman once, she was kind of nice to me, and she pulled off and left me. And that give me the blues sure enough. I went to howling like a dog then, you know.
He also traveled around with Robert Johnson. Wolf did travel with him, and Johnson used to back him on guitar, and Wolf would sing. Wolf also played with Son House and Willie Brown. They used to play together up in Robinsonville.
I played all through Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, and around in Kentucky, but I played all over the Cotton Belt countries, you know.
During World War II, he ended up in Seattle and Oregon.
I stayed in the Army 3 years. I've done all my training, you know. Yeah, I like the Army, all right, but they put so much on a man, you know what I mean? And my nerves couldn't take it, you know. They drilled us so hard, it just not to give me a nervous breakdown, you know what I mean? Late in the evening, and the sun is sinking down on me. Getting late in the evening, sun is sinking down on me. I got to make it home, baby, 'cause I feel so down.
After World War II in Mississippi, the whole agricultural scene was changing. I mean, it was all being mechanized, and people were being thrown out of work. And since they were being thrown out of work, there was less money for a Delta player. I mean, the old juke joints were closing down. People didn't have money to throw around, and people were moving to the cities. And so one of the first cities they moved to from the Delta was Memphis.
We've got the Father of Waters here. I believe it's known as the mighty old muddy Mississippi. We got the Delta land. We got blacks and whites. Now you get the augmentation of people from southeast Missouri, northwest Alabama, northern Mississippi, eastern Arkansas, northeast Louisiana. Now what more do you need?
Bill Street back in the 40s and early 50s was like so thick you couldn't walk down the street hard on Saturdays. People was happy and having a good time all up down Bill Street.
Now, Memphis itself was a pretty closed town. There was a curfew there for black people after 11 o'clock at night. But West Memphis was wide open. There was money there, gambling, all sorts of vice. And so it was a good place for a musician to go and make money. His band was the hottest thing going in West Memphis, and West Memphis was where all the money was.
It was just a juke joint. It might have been an old house out in the woods, especially Friday and Saturday nights were big nights, you know, especially for, of course, we played for mostly all blacks all the time, you know, and you might have a kitchen over to the side of the bandstand, and back in the back, a house where what they call shooting crap. And out in the front of the little bandstand is where everybody danced.
They were also extremely dangerous. People had guns and knives. People got hurt all the time in those places. I mean, everybody was drinking corn liquor and getting kind of crazy.
Wolf had 30 minutes on the air on this radio station in West Memphis, Arkansas. And he gave us 15 minutes. Give James Cotton 15 minutes on the air with us in the band, you know. Man, I thought that was great back then. We was kids, you know.
Some days we'd go over there and we'd play the show with him, play live music.
And he actually got the advertisers himself.
He'd do this howling thing, you know, like Wolf, you know, when he come on there, you know, do the Wolf thing, they would say, this here's a Wolf coming at you, honey. I was playing on the same radio station he was playing on at that time. I was playing country music, and he would do his blues stuff, and then after we would leave, we'd get off the air. So one day I was playing with his country band, and he came in the studio early one day, and he stood outside the window when he was laying upside the wall. So I put some blues licks on the guitar, and I looked up to him, you know, and he did like that, you know. And so when I went outside the studio, he said, I like the way you play guitar, and I said, thank you. You know, I said, I like the way you sing, too. I said, I've been listening to you on the way home, you know. So he said, well, how about coming back there and play some blues with me today? And I said, okay.
Now it's easy to stay connected to the art world.
Hi, I'm Matis Yahoo, and you're watching Ovation TV.
Sam Phillips heard from one of his friends that there was this guy on the radio, this guy who called himself Howlin Wolf. And Sam tuned in one day and was just blown away by Wolf's voice, as everybody was.
Chester Burnett, one of the greatest artists I ever recorded in my life.
They cut a couple of demos, and Sam Phillips sent them off to, I believe he sent them off to RPM Records, which was a Los Angeles company run by the Bihari brothers. And they were interested. Sam brought Wolf back in and did a full session. And out of that came Moanin' at Midnight and How Many More Years, his first record.
How many more years have I got to let you dog me around? How many more years have I got to let you dog me around? I'd soon rather be dead, sleeping 6 feet in the ground.
I had to let them know that I wanted to hear what they heard and not to try to please a white man because he happened to, quote-unquote, be in the control room and in control of the session.
Sam Phillips actually ended up sending that to the Chess brothers rather than to the Biharis. So that started a bidding war, especially when the record took off. It ended up being a big hit. To bring down my clothes, I'm gonna quit you. I'm going upstairs. I'm gonna bring back down my clothes. She said you get them all. Well, if anybody asks about me, you tell them I walked out the door. I'm going upstairs. I'm gonna bring down my clothes. Going upstairs, babe. I'm gonna bring back down my clothes. I'm finna quit you. And if anybody asks about me, you tell them I walked out, no, the money's gone.
what I say. You wanna think I'm crazy, and you just wanna have your way, and you can't do that with me.
The Chess brothers really wanted him, and so did the Bihari brothers. It fomented a bidding war, and what happened was the Chesses ended up with Wolf in return for the Bihari brothers getting Roscoe Gordon, who was also recording for Sam Phillips. And that's when Wolf decided to move to Chicago.
This is what he said: young man, I'm putting the band down, I'm going to Chicago. If I send for you, will you come? Cotton looked at me. Hey man, I go. See, you'll make more money with him than you will me.
He made lots of money. Wolf always said that I'm the onlyest one that drove out of the Delta on my own, and that's what he did when he moved to Chicago. He drove up there in his own car. He said he had $4,000 cash in his pocket, which back then was, you know, a huge fortune.
Chicago from Poland, from a small village in Poland, and came to the west side of Chicago. And some of the first people they met were black people. Some of the first music they heard was black music. Being that there were no blacks in Europe where they came from, it was a whole new experience. No premeditated prejudice at all existed. My family came to America, the blacks came to Chicago for a main reason: to make money. These black blues singers probably lived in one room without electricity in the South, and just like my family did in Poland.
So Chicago was a place where the jobs were here, and there was, everybody was from the South. So they all had a bond there. It was good to be away from down there, but it was good to hear the music, and there was a certain amount of freedom in Chicago.
Wanted to be on Chess because they wanted to make money, they wanted to hit, and we wanted the hits. I just was always there because it was the family business. In a way, it could have been a grocery store, you know. Wolf, Muddy, Sonny Boy, Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, they were at Chess Records. When they were in Chicago, they were there numerous times a week. And I got to know them, but through the eyes of a child. And in thinking back, I realized that most of the things they discussed with me was wanting to know my sex life. Did I get any yet? Had I had any yet? How did I like it?
I went into the studio one day, and there Wolf was. He had just got here from down south. And he was here by himself, and he's gonna need some musicians. So Little Chess hooked us up.
He found me when I first got with him. On the counter, I played with a straight pick. And I run all over me, and he couldn't get his voice out. He said, "You fired." I said, "I tell you, young man, although I got you here, you go home. Put the pick down, number one. So try your fingers, you know. Number two," he said, "listen to the records." He said, "when you come back," he said, "you're gonna be all right." He said, "you may learn something." Sure enough, I found myself, man. I found my tone. I put the picks down. I ain't thought of them picks no more. I had the sound. I had everything that he needed. So, from then on, just like that, man.
even though Hubert and I played in the same band, I think our styles are different. But the two of us together combined in the band made the band sound good.
Introducing Smart Shade Smart Balance. Makeup so smart.
Honor, discipline. Until an unorthodox new teacher lights a spark in his students that threatens to shake the school to its foundation.
Stay away from my son.
Dead Poets Society, tonight on Ovation TV.
Hubert come in, dabba-dum-dum, boom, dabba-doo-doo, dabba-doo-doo, that's the basis of the song.
He was into self-improvement. He went to school late in life. He never got any schooling as a kid, so he was basically functionally illiterate until he was, you know, probably in his 50s.
He went to school 5 years for music, and 3 years for learning. I'd read and write, arithmetic, subtract, multiply.
When we was playing at Silvio's, there was three bands, Muddy's band, Wolf's band, and my band. On intermission, he'd have on his glasses, and he'd be sitting at a table going over his lesson.
That guy learned how to write, read, and no kidding, and learn his guitar.
But Wolf ran a really tight band. And I mean, the guys, he paid them well, and they worked 6, 7 nights a week. He always had a job, working all over Chicago.
Known, and then after he recorded that Smokestack Lightning, he was really well known. And we played a place here in Memphis called the Hippodrome, which was down on Beale Street. And that particular time, we drew more people than anyone that had ever been in the Hippodrome.
Well, Smokestack Lightning means a train, you know, that runs on the rail, you know.
Oh, smokestack lightning, shining just like gold. But don't you hear me crying? Woo, woo, woo.
He met Lily in 1957, I believe. She had gone out to a club with, I think, her brother, where Wolf was playing, and she didn't normally go out to blues clubs. She was a very straight-laced lady. And Wolf saw her, and, you know, Lily was a beautiful woman, and he was smitten.
The opposites attract, right? They always say. And I guess he was pretty persistent about it, and she eventually gave in and was happy she did. Yeah.
I think it was kind of love at first sight.
Yeah,
but she was trying to resist.
Because of her religious, deeply religious background. You know, my grandmother was deeply religious.
She didn't like blues too much then, I don't think. And then after they really got together and really started seeing each other often, then she began to like the blues.
She kind of took over the business part of his band, and she did a really good job at it. She was excellent at it. And in fact, you know, Wolf ended up being, he had one of the most business-like bands ever. He actually paid unemployment insurance for his guys.
Yeah, I think the stability of things, and to have someone who did have some education, who could watch numbers and contracts and, you know, business deals and et cetera.
They were just two people in love.
And he would tell you, I have a wife at home, and she feeds me with a golden spoon.
He was good for her.
He worshipped her, you know.
They were good for each other. It was completion for her because Mama was so total when they were together.
Oh, she was a beautiful lady, man. She was really dedicated to Wolf and everything. She just was a nice person, you know. Wolf had a nice family, man.
Now, there you go. One of these houses here. Wait, I'll find out the exact house. I don't want to hang on, I'll find out the exact house. Hey, how you doing there? Which one of these houses Wolf used to live? I know he was on the second floor. All I know he was on the second floor, and it was on this side of the street. I know it was in one of these buildings here because they was on the second floor.
Howlin Wolf, yes you do. You don't forget. He was on this side of the street. Let's come on, see. Let's just walk down here. I got to put in my hand. Well, I was living here and I done forgot.
I moved here so I wouldn't have, you know, because I was playing with him and I didn't want to have to go back across town at night. There's a possibility it could have been here, a possibility.
Then where? This building or the
Possibly.
next? This building here.
This was the entrance right here. Okay, in the bar, but right here where it looked like you see a tree stump, that was the bar that leads, but it was a walkway to the back. Over here was some tables and chairs. By where this cup is in this little hump, that's where the little bandstand was. The Muddy Waters, when they played here, he would stand down on the floor. But mainly, Wolf would put him a chair like right here.
Them was the good old days, man. It was 50 cents to get in there, and nobody didn't want to pay it. I would give 50 cents to go see Elvis Presley, you know, and the guard at the door would have to, a lot of times, put people out because they wanted to come in without paying 50 cents.
A blues bar is basically a neighborhood tavern. It might be a little bit bigger.
Then people were drinking a lot. They were not using drugs, just drinking a lot. And when they would drink, then they would get loud and they would dance.
It was background music for having a ball.
They used knives then. Not too much a gunfight, knives. They would, you know, like they would be drinking and they would, I guess, get all teed up, and when they get outside, they would see their wives or their girlfriends talking to someone, and then they want to fight.
Sylvia always had two cops in the place, you know, door shakers they call them, private guards in the place. And I always felt that it was just a little bit repressed, but you never heard of anybody getting hurt or threatened or anything at Sylvia's.
Sylvia had all these bands. Sonny Boy band, Muddy Waters band, Memphis Slim band. They had all these Eddie Boys band. They had everybody.
There was a time when he had Muddy and Wolf. He said, I got to hire two bands to make sure I have one. This is when they were starting to play colleges and things. And I remember one night, he had Muddy and Wolf plus Magic Sam with Shaky Jake on intermissions.
He would tell his musician, you cannot drink as long as you play. But after the show, you'll be able to do anything you want to do, and I will buy it for you.
Time you fought with me is when I didn't show up at the studio to record. I was late a lot of times because we had played 5 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes, man, we'd be kind of high, done drinking all the booze and everything, and been chased them girls, and you want to go home. You know, understand? You get sleepy, you don't want to wake up. We went to record Shake It For Me, and at 8 o'clock we had to be in the studio. I got there at noon, maybe been 1 o'clock. Because they had 3 more guitar players. They done sent to L.A. and they flew all the way from California there to be on Shake It For Me, you know, and couldn't cut the mustard. So Chess, he didn't cut, he wanted to cuss me, man. He was mad. I saw him change colors, man. He said, hey, how you feeling? Brought me some black coffee and everything. Wolf said, hey, man, let's get this number over with. I want to go home and go to bed. No, I want to go home and eat and go to bed, man. I've been up too. What you had, you know? Got that diddle-dum? That's it. One time. We didn't have to go back over it, man. Just the way it was. Chester, them guys looked at me, man, and Chester and them looked at me, and I saw them smile. I said, this is what it's all about. You know what I'm talking about? I said, but I'm sorry, y'all, by being late.
Keep your feet beautiful with Revlon's new Pedi Expert.
This complete at-home professional quality pedicure kit with clipper and file whisks away callous roughness to leave your feet salon soft, salon smooth.
Put your best foot forward.
Pedi Expert fits comfortably in your hand, so you can work the curves and contours of your foot and safely shave away calloused skin. The catch-all compartment ensures no mess, no fuss.
File, finish, and fabulous. It's that easy.
New Pedi Expert from Revlon.
There's something very special about sponsoring a child through Child Fund.
As you help others, you learn a lot about yourself.
The first time I saw a picture of my sponsored child, I knew that I was looking at love. By giving a little bit, I get to feel like $1 million.
It gives all of us hope for the future.
Each child is empowered from knowing somebody cares.
I know your future is listening. Hear the world, it's crying out. Will you be the answer to the call?
Sponsor a child through Child Fund. For less than $1 a day, you can make a difference in a child's life with healthy food, clean water. Child Fund will make sure there's a good school, medicine, because a brighter tomorrow starts with the simple things today.
When you sponsor a child, they have a chance at having a better life. He now has a global family. We want to set those right examples for our own children.
Her mother or dad could neither read or write, so in one generation she's going through high school, and we're so proud of that.
For more than 70 years, Child Fund has helped to change the lives of millions of children living in poverty in the U.S. and around the world. Call Child Fund at the number on your screen or go to childfund.org.
For me, it's a fulfilling experience. The letters melted my heart.
We get much more out of it than what we actually monetarily pay.
We change the life of a child.
It does make a difference.
For the change in the bottom of my purse, she doesn't have to worry about where her next meal is coming from. Why would you not want to have a child love you?
Call 800-650-5259 or go to childfund.org to sponsor a child today.
This fall, you can make your home look like a picture in a magazine with this season's Better Homes and Gardens collection, now at Walmart. Discover the latest line of Better Homes and Gardens furnishings, all at Walmart's unbeatable prices. A new look costs less at Walmart. Save money, live better. Walmart.
A smile, a hug, a sense of accomplishment. The Raoul Foster Children's Positive Plan helps foster and adoptive children live their artistic dreams through fine arts and athletic scholarships. Best-selling writer, award-winning actress, and ballet dancer Victoria Raoul founded the program. As a foster child herself, Victoria credits her success to the mentors who helped her pursue her passion. For more information, visit RaoulFosterChildren.org.
Ovation TV. Make life creative.
A prophet is sort of not recognized in his own country. These guys went overseas and they were treated like big stars, and it was a thrill for him.
When I first went over there with him in 1964, the American Folk Blues Festival, well, when we come down off the airplane and in Frankfurt, Germany, we went straight to this studio.
I'd been on a few sound stages, and it was the biggest stage I've ever been on. It was enormous. It was a block and a half long. I mean, it's large.
Sure look good. You don't mean a thing. Sure look good. You don't mean a thing. I got a crazy woman, shaped like a willow tree. on the plane.
Did the television show and everything, we went to traveling. We went to going Germany, France, and all over while we was there, you know, England, we did everything. Everywhere we went, sold out.
To me, that was pushing them a little bit more. I wanted to see them go farther.
And when he showed back up from over there, we had the finest underwear.
I know, we'd have some wonderful gifts.
Fishnet stockings and texture stockings. Someone helped him buy these things, but he had such lovely gifts for all of us. As a matter of fact, I still have some of those little girl slips and things till today. Finest material, you know, stuff that never wore out. You just couldn't fit them anymore.
See, we were playing for black audiences in the 50s and the early 60s. And when the black audiences stopped listening to the records, stopped buying the records, then the blues sort of, you know, petered down a little bit.
The blues audience shrunk. The club scene was less. It was before the white audience discovered the blues.
But Wolf worked right through it.
I think of the period of the white rock audience and the black blues performers getting in sync with each other is a little, it takes a few years and it's a dance because you have these electric bluesmen who spark an interest among this folk blues audience. And so as the folk blues audience is beginning to transform itself into an electric blues audience, at the same time, most of the electric blues performers are trying to reach the folk blues audience through folk blues. So you have this period where they're trying to get, the greatest example of that is when the Stones appear on Shindig and bring on Wolf. You know, there it is, everybody's in sync now.
I met the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Eric Burden, the Kinks, the Yardbirds, they were all blues fanatics, you know?
They saw him as a teacher, and he saw himself as a teacher to them.
I would often hear him say, "My little boy Mick Jagger."
Yeah, I'm saying that's
you
what I
know,
wanted
that's
to
what
say. I
he
think
would say. He was
didn't feel
protective.
superior, but
no.
more father like that.
Yeah.
He was teaching
Never
them some
thought,
things.
They will even tell you that they looked up to him.
Yeah, yeah,
You
no,
know,
I
they
don't
looked up to him.
I mean, Hubert was the idol of Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton and, you know, Keith Richards and Jimmy Page and all of those electric guitar players from the 60s.
Revlon introduces the first one-step food-proof lip color with a...
Sometimes it's hard to see them.
Newport 66, you know, Alan Lomax got, and the festival organizers got some of the great old Delta people back together again. That happened several years in a row. Son House was there, and Bukka White, you know, the great old Delta players.
We would plan up till Friday night. We'd go out on one of them big plantations, and we would have a contest. The one would do the best playing. They didn't have no money. They'd give us a rooster, a hen. Sometime if a fella had enough pig, he'd give you a pig, he said, to start you off with. Sometime the judge would give it to Skip James. Sometime he would give it to Son House. Sometime the judge would give it to me.
And then, of course, at the same time, you had people like Bob Dylan and, you know, Joan Baez and, you know, the Paul Butterfield Blues Band and all of the young Turks of the 60s. And they were meeting these old guys, these legendary old bluesmen. Alan Lomax set up a kind of a juke joint sort of a situation backstage and invited all these great Delta blues musicians to come in and play their stuff as if they were back in a juke joint in the 1930s.
Have a time on a baby stomach still. You will see the flights bringing on a little ball. Flights bringing on a little ball. How do you get your money, man? That's right. What we gonna do with all that money? Gonna give it away. Gonna give it away? To who? Everybody look like they need it bad enough. Well, I need some money. Please, ma'am. Do that old bullet for me. Old bullet for me. Hang this one. Like that, you see that curtain up there started trimming. I said, look like all the way that money. I said, you got to play it before they pull that curtain. But when I ran back down on it like this, I see them two men coming to swing it over to it. They didn't bring you the money, though, did you, boy? Walk it, John. They didn't bring you the money? All of it. You tell them. What did you do with it? Well, the curtain jumped back. The little two little girl was going from side to side, rocking from side to side. How was the rocket there?
It was sort of a friendly, you know, contest where he was trying to outdo Bukka and show him up.
You was late to dinner with your mama. You was out of sight.
It was really amazing what Alan Lomax did setting up that film and getting those old guys together. One of the only problems, though, was that somebody gave Son House a bunch of whiskey, and Son House didn't need too much whiskey to get drunk, and he got just blasted.
All kinds of blues. Rabbit blues, chicken blues, any kind of blues. There's the name of blues. They say it, but that's not the blues. The blues consisted between a male and female.
Wolf knew Son House really well at one point, 30 years before that, let's say, or 25 years before that. For 10 or 15 years, Son House had been living in upstate New York, or Rochester, and he had been working as a Pullman porter, and he had basically not been playing music.
So
during Wolf's segment, he started making noise, and he interrupted Wolf's performance, and that's one thing that Wolf would not put up with.
See, this man got the blues right there. See, that's why the blues come from, because he done drunk up all of his. And he would. I'm telling you like it here. Well, you see, you had a chance with your life, but you ain't done nothing with it. See, and you got to have the blues. And we ain't talking about the women's. We're talking about the life of a human being, how they live. See, now you don't love but one thing, and that's some whiskey. See, and that's plumb out of it.
I love more than whiskey. But I want her. Now she ain't whiskey.
For him to see Son House as an old man being kind of a sloppy drunk, I think that bothered Wolf. I think Wolf was really disappointed in what Son House had turned into.
Now this is the blues here. You see, when a man gets scared, done been in some man's house, and he know he wrong for being in there, and the man catch him in there, or the woman catch her in there, and she have to run off and leave her shoes, you know. She gonna call back to Mary, or he gonna call back to Joe. Tell Willie to bring my running shoes, cause I'm barefooted. Well, now meet me at the bottom. Bring me my running shoes. I said, meet me in the bottom. Bring me my running shoes. When I come out the window, won't have no time to lose. Well, you see me running. No, don't make me late. When you see me running, no, don't make me late. 'Cause I'm coming out the window, and my life is at stake.
Yes, I play some guitar, you know. Always let Hubert play because he's a young man and I want him to be seen. I partly raised him, you know.
Well, now meet me in the bottom bay. Bring me my running shoe. Well, now meet me in the bottom. Bring me my running shoe.
I learned this guitar. He showed me some chords, man, that I couldn't believe was made on the guitar.
I talked to Van Shaw, who is also an excellent guitarist, and he said that Wolf was one of the greatest slide players he ever heard, and he said Wolf was great by today's standards, not by the standards of back then. He said he couldn't figure out how Wolf got so good, because he was phenomenal.
I remember it. Oh, yeah. I remember this. Oh, it brings back some things to me.
Tonight on Ovation TV.
His mother was a religious person, kind of a religious fanatic. And he had lost contact with her for years and years, you know, maybe a decade or so. And then one time he came down to Clarksdale on one of his many tours of the Delta.
We stopped at a barber shop in Clarksdale on our way back to Chicago. And so these people know Wolf's mama. They know his mother. This guy went and got his mama. I'm looking at her and Wolf, oh, mama. Started crying, man. I have never seen a $500 bill in my life. But I saw one. Wolf, all this money up, I didn't know that's what it was, man. She had on an apron, big apron, crying, and then they hugged one another about 15 or 20 minutes. She was cussing them out, man, turn me loose. And she taking that money, must have felt that money in that apron. Took it out, and stomped it, man. And it opened up when she stomped. I'm looking at a big old $500 bill. I said, oh, Lord, that was a $500 bill.
And she thought that Wolf was singing in the Devil's music, and she didn't want to have anything to do with him.
She walked off and left the money, left us.
Now, you can imagine what this did to Wolf's head. It was the first time he had seen his mother in maybe 10 years or so.
The Wolf cried all the way to Memphis. Please ride my mother. Tell her all the shape I'm in.
Kidney problem started on a New Year's morning on the way from work, and he was hit from behind. Not a serious accident, it seems, but I understand certain things can trigger a failed kidney, and it did start out like that.
You know, they looked for him a kidney almost 10 years for a donor, but they never found one.
My mother arranged for him to work and have dialysis every place and see doctors and everything. He was okay. My mother used to do it in the basement of our house. We had something looked like a washing machine. They took all his blood out, cleansed it. I know, but it seemed like a big dryer in a laundromat or a washing machine.
And she would put him on the machine like 3 times a week. And he was doing good, but his heart just wouldn't take the strain.
He had 2 heart attacks. And he got over him. He got over him.
He was so dedicated to his profession, he really should have taken it easy sooner than he did.
He would not stop. The doctors asked would he stop. He wouldn't stop.
This is one of the amazing things about Wolf. I mean, he was willing to go out there to the very end and play his music. He wasn't going to let some little thing like no kidneys stop him.
I done had my fun. And if I never get well no more, I done had my fun. And if I never get well no more, is fading on me. Yes, I'm just going down slow.
I started booking some shows at the University of Chicago, blues shows over there. So I called Wolf to see if he would come do a dance at the university, and he said, well, you'll need to talk to my manager, but come on over for dinner. And you know, that sounded like pretty wonderful to me. Here's the Howlin Wolf, and he lived in this nice little brick bungalow and plastic covers on the furniture, nicely kept, tidy, nice backyard and all this kind of stuff. And Lily cooked me the first of a number of really nice dinners.
Not everybody could come, but once he made a friend, you were welcome to spend the night, to partake of the food, you know what I'm saying?
I always knew every minute I was around him, I was fully conscious of what a blessing it was to have that opportunity, and what a privilege, and what a unique person he was.
Well, if you see my little red rooster, please drive him home. Well, if you see my little red rooster, please drive him home. There ain't been no peace in the barnyard since the little red rooster been gone. Oh, yeah.
You know, Wolf liked to appeal to the broadest audience possible. You know, he was an entertainer, and so he had no problems trying to appeal to, you know, the white audience.
In the early 70s, there was an attempt by Chess Records to put their Delta blues artists in a European environment with white rock players to kind of create, I think it was successful, to create a door in to the blues.
I was involved in helping the Chess Company expand our audience. Again, we were the record business, so it wasn't help Wolf make more money, it was help the label make more money so we could pay the damn overhead and also give the artists more royalties.
And that's why he did that London album with Eric Clapton and a couple of the guys in the Stones, Ringo Starr, Stevie Winwood.
Actually, of all those albums, I think the one with Wolf is the most successful. And I think that they serve the purpose of someone whose ear is not trained for blues has a way in.
Oh, that was great. You know, Chess and them didn't want me to go. They really didn't want me to go over there because they want the Rolling Stones.
The story is that Clapton didn't want to do this thing unless Hubert was invited along.
He called in Chess Brothers and told them, say, hey, man, if Hubert don't be there, I won't either. And they had a doctor with Wolf 24 hours. And 2 nights, Wolf couldn't record.
I guess when he was recording it, he could only record for a couple of hours a day.
But we did the album in 8 days.
I was taken when Eric Clapton gave Wolf a fishing rod. He knew that Wolf liked to fish and hunt. And Wolf was genuinely touched. And when they did Little Red Rooster, I was in the control room and it was moving the way Clapton and Wolf had that interplay.
I think it's a great album, actually. I don't know why anybody would criticize it, because I think it's, some of Wolf's best performances, considering the shape he was in, and the band behind him was great. I mean, they're spectacular.
Sure enough, even out of London sold more records than I think any blues artist sold at that time. 900,000?
I think all of the attempts of Chess to expand the audience outside of the core black early blues audience were great things. I think even though the blues fundamentalists today put down those experiments or those attempts to spread the music, they're part of why blues, Wolf, Muddy, Walter are part of the American folk culture of today.
Is holding on to my unworn jewelry ever a good decision?
I done had my fun. And if I never get well no more, I done had my fun. And if I never get well no more, you know my health is fading on. Yes, I'm just going down slow.
Last few years were really heroic. He would do some of his old stunts, every once in a while, and he didn't have a whole lot of energy, but when he did, he was still great.
And sometimes I'd see him and he'd be truly inspired. Other nights he'd be sort of laboring. And one thing about him, he put whatever he had into the music.
But it seemed like his singing was just as good as ever.
Towards the end of his life, he actually did one last big show at the Chicago Amphitheater with B.B. King and a bunch of other big stars on the bill.
We had about I think 10 or 11 bands there.
And Wolf went out and gave just an incredible performance. He did a lot of his old tricks, crawling around on his hands and knees, which must have been really painful, crawling on his back at one point during Crawlin' King Snake, and he gave just a tremendous performance, and he got a 5-minute standing ovation.
And he took that show. He took it that night.
And he was so tired afterwards that his wife had to call the paramedics. She had to call in the paramedics to sort of revive him.
The next night, he played at the 1815 Club like he always did when he wasn't doing anything else. And we all went over and saw Wolf, and it was obvious that he was pretty fatigued, that he'd extended himself at the big show the night before. But he did get through the night, but supposedly right after that was when he went into the hospital, and he never played again.
please write my mother. Oh, tell her the shape of it. Please write my mother. Well, tell her the shape of it. Forgive me for my sins. Wait, look out.
Going Down Slow, which was written by St. Louis Jimmy Oden, was a song that Wolf took really personally because a lot of it is about talking to his mother as he's dying, and in fact that did happen to Wolf. He wanted to see his mother, and she wouldn't come and visit him.
And I remember him asking, and my mom offered to send a limousine, send a plane, but she refused. She always said he sang the devil's music, You
tell my mother, don't send me no doctor. Oh, the doctor can't do me no good. Don't send me no doctor. Oh, You can't do me no good. You done tell us all my fault. I didn't do the thing for that I should.
They were estranged at the time of his death, you know, which was really sad because he wanted to see her near the end. Near the end, there was a brain tumor found, and they did surgery. And they didn't find that until the very end, I would say about 3 days before he passed, because he had surgery, what we say about that Wednesday before that Saturday. His heart was just too bad to really undergo brain surgery, but they had to.
But he did.
And of course, as I said, he never came out of it because that anesthesia is known that you can't, with a bad heart, go under.
I didn't want to believe nothing, not in dying, you know, not him. I figured he's gonna come through everything.
I was the last family member to see him the morning he passed. He still looked like himself. He was still, it wasn't that he diminished down, but he was a sick man. And all in all, he was still proud. He did it with dignity.
And when he passed, Leonard Chess owned WVON, so they played his records all day on the radio. Howlin Wolf passed. And there was a lot of people at his wake. It was jam-packed, you know. It was a sad day when Wolf died, you know.
He just was a great original blues artist that affected all of blues music.
I don't remember when it just really hit me. This is amazing, and I really do think it now that it is truly amazing, you know.
In a way, I feel like I'm hearing the best of the essence of humanity, and by that I mean a person that had a rough road to hoe in life and turned it into something of great. It's a form of beauty, so I'll say beauty, and something haunting, something memorable, something that enabled him to carve a better life out for himself. I hear magic in his music.
He contributed all he could to the music, and again, and he did double for his family. He was always, you know, just so family-oriented. And it probably goes back to not having a close family, you know, relationship when he was a child, but he was on it. He was on it.
Most of all, he loved my mom. He made her happy. That was number one. And we still love you.
Yeah.
I still think he's here right now. You can feel things. You can feel these things. At least I do.
I am the wolf.
I am Jules Holland. It's hard to put my show into words, so instead I'll let the music do the talking. Only on Ovation TV.